I'm writing this from a hotel room in Clark because if I don't get this out, I'm going to drive to Tarlac and do something that will land me in a Filipino prison. My hands won't stop shaking. The Tandway isn't helping. Nothing helps. Call me Jason. I'm 43 and 12 hours ago, I found out my wife has another family. Not another boyfriend, another family. Husband. 2 kids. A whole separate life I was funding without knowing it. I need to start from the beginning before I lose it completely. Maybe typing this out will stop my brain from replaying the same images over and over. Her laughing with them. That house. That damn house I paid for. 18 months ago I was living in Seattle working as an operations manager for a logistics company. Decent job. Pulling around $78,000 annually. I'd been divorced for 3 years, no kids, thank God. And honestly, I was doing fine. I had a small house in Tacoma, a reliable truck, some savings. Nothing glamorous, but stable. My buddy Kevin had been living in the Philippines for 2 years, always posting photos of beaches, cheap beer, and what he called the good life. He'd invite me to visit, saying I could stay with him, experience it firsthand. I'd always brush it off, seemed like running away from real life. Then my company announced they were relocating our division to Texas. I could move with them, or take a severance package. The severance was attractive, about $35,000 after taxes, plus my vacation payout brought it to $41,000 total. I had $67,000 in savings, another $89,000 in my 401k. If I cashed out the 401k early and took the penalties, I'd walk away with roughly $62,000. Combined with my savings and severance, I'd have around $170,000. At 41, starting over in Texas with no connections didn't appeal to me. So, I did something impulsive. I accepted the severance, put my house on the market and called Kevin. I'm thinking about checking out the Philippines for a few months, maybe longer if I like it. He laughed. About damn time. Get yourself out here. 3 months later, I landed in Manila with 2 suitcases and $170,000 in my Charles Schwab account. Kevin picked me up and drove me to Angeles City where he'd been living. I rented a small house in a quiet compound, 25,000 pesos monthly, about $450, furnished with aircon, decent Wi-Fi. My monthly budget was around 70,000 pesos total, roughly $1,250. At that rate, my money would last maybe 9 years if I was careful, longer if I picked up some remote work. The first month was pure adjustment. The heat hit you like a wall the second you stepped outside. The noise, Manila is loud in ways that make Seattle seem like a library. Traffic that would make you want to scream. But there was something about it, the energy. People actually seemed alive, not just going through motions. Kevin showed me around, introduced me to other expats, helped me navigate the basics. Where to eat, which places to avoid, how to not get completely ripped off as a foreigner. I started to relax into it, found a gym that was basic but cheap, a cafe with decent coffee and Wi-Fi where I could work. I picked up some freelance consulting work online. Nothing major, but it brought in $600 to $800 monthly. Enough to make me feel productive, slow the savings burn. For the first time in years, I wasn't miserable. Wasn't counting down to retirement. Wasn't wondering if this was all there was. Then I met Diane. Sorry, I need to step outside for a minute. Can't breathe in here. Okay, back. I wasn't looking for a relationship. Honestly, wasn't even thinking about it. But Kevin dragged me to this birthday party for one of his friends, a mix of expats and locals, casual backyard setup with a lechon, and way too much beer. That's where I saw her, late 20s, helping set up the food table, laughing with the other women. Not dressed up, just jeans and a simple top, but there was something about her smile. Natural. Real. Kevin noticed me staring. That's Diane. Friend of the family. She's cool, actually has a job, not one of the bar girls. I wasn't... Sure you weren't. She works at a hotel in the city. Front desk supervisor or something. Single mum, 1 kid. Single mum usually meant complications, but something made me walk over anyway. We talked for maybe 20 minutes that first night. She was easy to talk to, funny in this self-deprecating way, asked questions about me that seemed genuinely curious rather than interview style. She'd grown up in Tarlac, moved to Angeles for work 6 years ago, was taking online courses for a hospitality management degree. Trying to move up, she said. Can't be front desk forever. I like that. Ambition, drive, not just coasting. I got her number before I left. We texted for a few days. Light stuff, memes, jokes. Then we met for coffee at this place near her hotel. She showed up in her work uniform. Professional, put together. We talked for 2 hours about her job, my freelance work, adjusting to the Philippines, the differences between American and Filipino culture. About 3 dates in, we were talking about expats, and she got this hard edge to her voice I hadn't heard before. So many foreigners come here. They use Filipinas, make promises, then leave. They think money can buy everything. Buy respect, buy love, buy a woman's whole life. That's not me, I said quickly. I know. You seem different, but you have to understand. We've seen it 1,000 times. Rich Americans who don't even know they're rich. I actually appreciated that she said it. Felt honest. Like she wasn't trying to play games. My God, I'm such an idiot. We started seeing each other regularly. She'd come over to my place after her shift, or I'd pick her up and we'd try different restaurants. She always offered to pay her share, always reached for the check. I'd wave her off. I had savings. She was living paycheck to paycheck. Seemed ridiculous to split a 400 peso meal. About 6 weeks in, she invited me to meet her daughter. Are you sure? I asked. That's a big step. Anna keeps asking who the guy is that I talk about, and honestly, if this is going anywhere, you should meet her sooner rather than later. Made sense. We went to Jollibee. Anna's choice. She was 5 years old, shy at first, hiding behind Diane's leg. But once she warmed up, she was chatty, showed me her Jollibee toys, told me about her kindergarten class, asked if I liked unicorns. They're pretty cool, I said seriously. They're the best, she corrected me. Diane watched us interact with this soft smile and I felt something shift. This wasn't just casual dating anymore. After we dropped Anna back at Diane's apartment, we sat in my car outside. Her father's not in the picture, Diane said quietly. He left when she was a baby. Sends money sometimes, maybe 2,000 pesos every few months if we're lucky. But that's it. No visits, no calls, nothing. That's rough. We manage. My parents help a lot. They live in Tarlac, watch Anna when I'm working nights or weekends. That's good you have them. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do without them. All lies. Every single word, but I believed it, wanted to believe it. A few weeks later, she invited me to meet them, her parents. We drove out to Tarlac on a Sunday, about an hour and a half from Clark, longer with traffic. The drive took us through provincial roads, small towns, rice fields. Different world from the city. The house was modest, concrete, painted white, small yard with some chickens pecking around. Her parents came out to greet us, Tito Ben and Tita Rosa, both probably in their 60s, warm smiles, limited English, but enthusiastic. Tita Rosa hugged me like I was already family. Tito Ben shook my hand with this firm grip, looking me up and down like he was sizing me up. They fed me too much. Adobo, sinigang, fresh rice, lumpia. Every time my plate looked empty, Tita Rosa would pile more food on. You're too skinny, she said, laughing. Diane needs to feed you more. We sat outside after lunch, drinking San Miguel. Tito Ben asked about my work, my family back home, my plans. Basic getting to know you stuff, but it felt genuine, like he actually cared about who his daughter was seeing. You take care of our Diane, Tita Rosa said when we were leaving, patting my hand. She works so hard, she deserves someone good. Driving back, I felt good. Like I'd passed some test, like this was real. They weren't her parents, they were her aunt and uncle, Tita and Tito. Uncle and aunt in Tagalog, getting paid 5,000 pesos monthly to play a role. And I sat there eating their food, drinking their beer, believing every word. I was so dumb. Over the next few months, Diane and I fell into a real relationship. We'd see each other 3 to 4 times a week. Weekend trips to nearby beaches, movie nights at my place, normal couple stuff. She'd stay over sometimes when her parents could watch Anna overnight. We'd cook together, watch Netflix, talk about future plans. I loved how it felt. After my divorce, where my ex constantly complained I wasn't ambitious enough, didn't make enough money, wasn't exciting enough, this felt easy, natural. Diane never complained, never asked for more, just seemed happy to be with me. I loved feeling needed, loved being the stable guy who could make her life easier. That feeling was addictive. Kevin tried to warn me. You love playing the hero, he said once over beers. Just be careful with that. It's dangerous here. It's not playing. I am helping her. I'm just saying, man, you're playing the Night King, and that never ends well. Don't call her that. You know what I mean. I did. I just didn't want to hear it. Around month 5 of dating, Diane mentioned her lease was ending. Her landlord was raising rent from 8,000 pesos to 12,000 pesos monthly. I can't afford that, she said. Not with Anna's school fees and everything else. I'll probably move back to Tarlac with my parents for a while. That would mean seeing her way less, Anna changing schools, the whole relationship getting complicated. My house had 2 bedrooms, one I was using as an office/storage room that didn't really need to be either. Move in with me, I said. She looked surprised. Jason, that's a big step. We're together most nights anyway. You'd save on rent. Anna would have her own room. We could be an actual family. What about Anna? That's a lot to take on. I like Anna. And I love you. Let's do this. I'd said it. I love you? First time. Her eyes got wet. I love you too. She agreed, but insisted on paying 8,000 pesos monthly toward expenses, what she'd been paying in rent. I didn't need it, but I understood the pride thing. Didn't want her to feel like charity. They moved in 2 weeks later. Having them there changed my life, but in mostly good ways. Anna was a great kid. Quiet, well-behaved, loved her cartoons and colouring books. She'd sit at the kitchen table doing her homework, while I worked on my laptop. Sometimes she'd come over and show me her drawings, unicorns mostly, and ask my opinion. That's really good, I'd say. It's okay, she'd correct me, but I'll get better. 5 years old and already self-critical, made me laugh. Diane would cook dinner most nights, Filipino food I'd never tried. Cara Bicol Express, her version of spaghetti that was weirdly sweet, but I got used to it. We'd eat together, talk about our days, watch TV as a family. Anna started calling me Kuya Jason, Big Brother Jason, not Dad, which I appreciated. We weren't there yet, and she had a father even if he was absent. Except he wasn't absent, he was in Tarlac, living in the house I'd eventually buy. Reading the bedtime stories I thought I was uniquely providing. But I didn't know that yet. My monthly expenses went up. More food, higher electricity from more aircon use, Anna's snacks and school supplies. Maybe 85,000 to 90,000 pesos monthly total now. About $1,500 to $1,600. Still manageable. I felt like a hero. Like I'd rescued them from struggle and given them stability. That feeling was intoxicating, better than any drug. After my divorce, where I'd felt like a failure, this made me feel like I was finally getting it right. Finally being the man I was supposed to be. God, I want to throw up. Everything was smooth for about 3 months. Then one evening, Diane came home from visiting her parents in Tarlac, looking stressed. What's wrong? She sat down, wringing her hands. My mum needs surgery. What kind? Gallbladder. The doctor says it can't wait much longer. She's been in pain for months, but we thought it would pass. Is she going to be okay? Yes, but the surgery costs 85,000 pesos. PhilHealth covers maybe 15,000 pesos if we're lucky. My parents don't have 70,000 pesos. Neither do I. 70,000 pesos? About $1,250? I didn't even hesitate. I can cover it. Jason, no, that's too much. Your mum helped raise Anna. She watches her all the time so you can work. Of course I'll help. We're family now. Diane's eyes filled with tears. She hugged me tight. I'll pay you back. I promise, every month I'll pay you back. Don't worry about it. Seriously, family helps family. I transferred the money the next day. 70,000 pesos sent to Diane's account with the memo for Mama's surgery. Her mum, actually her aunt, did get gallbladder surgery. That part was real. But it cost 45,000 pesos, not 85,000 pesos. They pocketed 25,000 pesos. But I didn't know that. I just felt good. Felt needed. Felt like I'd done something important. 2 months later, Diane came home upset. Her brother's motorcycle had been stolen. Someone took it right from outside his work, she said. He needs it for his delivery job. Without it, he can't work. Can't he report it to police? He did. They said they'd look into it, but you know how that goes. He needs a replacement now, or he'll lose the job. How much? A used one, maybe 45,000 pesos. He's been saving, but only has 15,000 pesos. 45,000 pesos, about $800. I can help with that. Jason, you just helped with my mom's surgery. It's fine, really. Tell him to find a good used bike, and I'll cover the difference. She hugged me again, crying. You're so good to us. I don't know what we did to deserve you. I transferred 30,000 pesos the next day, figuring her brother had 15,000 pesos saved. The motorcycle was never stolen. They bought Manuel a newer, better one for his delivery work. Different story, same money. Then came Anna's school. Fee increase announced. 6,000 pesos more per term due to facility improvements. I covered it. Then, Tito Ben needed dental work. Emergency root canal, 28,000 pesos. I covered it. Then, Diane's phone broke. Screen completely shattered, not worth fixing. She needed a new one for work. 12,000 pesos for a decent Samsung. I bought it, None of it felt like I was being taken advantage of. These were real problems, or seemed real, with real solutions, and I had the means to help. Diane was always grateful. Never entitled, never demanding. Always said she'd pay me back, always treated it like a loan, even though we both knew it wasn't. Kevin warned me again around month 8. We were having beers at his place, and I mentioned helping with the dental work. Dude, he said, you're bleeding money. I'm helping my girlfriend's family. You're playing the Night King and it's going to bite you where you don't expect. Why do you keep calling her that? Because you love the rescue fantasy. You love being needed, and that's dangerous as hell here. It's not a fantasy. These are real problems. How much have you given her? Total? I hadn't actually added it up. I don't know, maybe 200,000 pesos. Roughly $3,500. Jesus, in 8 months? Her mum needed surgery. Did you see the medical bills? Well, no, but did you see the motorcycle get stolen? Obviously not, it was stolen. Jason. Listen to yourself, you're taking everything at face value because you want it to be true. You're being paranoid. I'm being realistic. This is the Philippines, people are desperate, and you showed up with money and a savior complex. I left angry, told myself Kevin was just cynical, jaded by his own bad experiences. He was trying to save me. I just didn't want to be saved. Around month 10, Diane started talking about marriage. Not in a pushy way, just mentioning it in conversation. How nice it would be for Anna to have a stable family. How it would make things easier legally. I could own property if we were married. How her parents would feel better knowing she was settled. What do you think? She asked one night. About getting married? Yeah, is that something you'd want? I thought about it. I loved her, loved Anna, loved the life we'd built. Yeah, I said. Let's do it. Her face lit up like I'd given her the sun. Really? Really. You're it for me. Let's make it official. We filed the paperwork for the marriage license, set a date for a small ceremony at the courthouse. Just family and close friends. Her parents were thrilled when we told them. You're a good man, Tito Ben said, shaking my hand. Thank you for taking care of our daughter. Kevin was less enthusiastic when I told him. You sure about this? Yeah, I love her. You've known her less than a year. When you know, you know. That's what everyone says before it goes sideways. Not everyone, some people get it right. He didn't look convinced, but he didn't push it. About a month before the wedding, Diane brought up buying a house. We were sitting on the couch, her head on my shoulder, watching some Filipino drama on TV. What do you think about buying a place? She asked. Like a house? Yeah. We're paying 25,000 pesos monthly for rent. If we bought something, we'd have equity, build something for Anna's future, made sense financially. The problem is, I can't own land here. I know, it would have to be in my name legally, but it would be our house, for our family. I'd researched this before moving here. Foreigners could own the structure of a house, but not the land it sat on. The common workaround was putting it in a Filipino spouse's name. Let me look into it, I said. We started house hunting, looked at maybe 10 places over 2 weeks. Some were too expensive, some in sketchy neighborhoods, some just didn't feel right. Then we found one in a decent area of Angeles, 3 bedrooms, small yard with a mango tree, quiet street, safe neighborhood with other families. Price, 2,800,000 pesos, about $50,000. I had roughly $142,000 left in my account after 18 months in the Philippines. $50,000 was a significant chunk, but it would be our home. An investment in our future, in Anna's future. Let's do it, I said. We made an offer. It was accepted. I transferred the money from my Schwab account to my Philippine bank, then to the seller's account. The house was put in Diane's name, with the understanding that we'd be married in a month and it would become marital property. We went to see it right after closing, walked through the empty rooms, talking about furniture, where Anna's room would be, how we'd set up the yard. We should get a swing set, Diane said. Anna would love that. Whatever she wants. She turned to me, eyes bright. Thank you. For all of this. For giving us a real home. It's our home. I know, Thank you. We kissed in the empty living room and I felt like everything had fallen into place. Like I'd found what I was supposed to find. We planned to move in after the wedding. Start fresh as a married couple in our own place. Except we didn't. There were delays, Diane said. Some paperwork issue with the previous owner's documents. The title transfer was taking longer than expected. Better to wait until it was fully sorted. Then after the wedding, she said the house needed some repairs. A leak in the bathroom, electrical issues. Better to stay in the rental a bit longer while contractors worked on it. Can I see it? I asked. Check on the progress. It's a mess right now. Once it's done, we'll do a proper walkthrough. Made sense. I let it go. I never went back to that house after the initial viewing, never saw the interior again. Because it wasn't being repaired, Manuel and the kids were already living in it, moving their furniture in, making it their home. My $50,000 had bought them a real house, in a nice neighborhood. While I stayed in a 25,000 peso monthly rental, waiting for repairs that would never be done. The wedding was simple, courthouse ceremony on a Thursday morning. Small reception afterward at a restaurant. Nothing fancy, just Filipino food buffet style and some beer. Her parents came, crying happy tears. Some of Diane's friends from work, Kevin and a handful of expats, maybe 30 people total. I wore a barong, traditional Filipino formal wear. Diane wore a simple white dress she'd found at the mall. Anna was the flower girl, scattering petals down the aisle in her little dress. It felt real, permanent, like I'd finally gotten life right. We went to Palawan for the honeymoon, week-long trip. I'd saved up for it about 120,000 pesos, all in for flights, hotels, food, activities. About $2,150. We snorkeled in crystal clear water, ate fresh seafood at beachside restaurants, lounged in hammocks, made love in a hotel room with an ocean view. Diane was happier than I'd ever seen her. Of course she was happy. She'd just legally locked down access to everything I had. The joint account we'd opened, the property I'd bought. She'd married me, secured her position, and I'd made it as easy as possible. When we got back, married life continued in the rental house. She went back to work, I kept doing my consulting, Anna went to school. We were a normal family, for about 2 months. Then I started noticing things. Diane had always been casual with her phone, left it lying around, no password, occasionally asked me to check her messages when she was busy with cooking or Anna. Then suddenly there was a password. She'd take calls in the bedroom with the door closed, text with the phone angled away from me, screen against her body when she walked past. Work stuff, she'd say when I asked. Drama with my coworker. You don't want to hear about it. I didn't push. People deserve privacy, and honestly, part of me didn't want to look too closely. I'd invested everything, emotionally, financially, my whole life here, into this relationship. Finding a problem would mean admitting I'd made a catastrophic mistake. Easier to just trust, to believe. But then I noticed she was working more, way more. I have to go in early, she'd say, leaving at 6 a.m. I'm working a double, she'd text, not getting home until 11 p.m. They need me this weekend, short-staffed. Her paychecks didn't seem bigger. I never saw her salary slips. She handled her own banking, but we weren't suddenly flush with extra cash from all this overtime. One Saturday afternoon I was running errands and drove past her hotel. Her car wasn't in the employee lot. Maybe she'd gotten a ride with a coworker. Maybe she parked somewhere else that day. I didn't want to be that paranoid husband. Sunday, I had to pick something up nearby, drove past again. Her car still wasn't there. Monday morning, casual as possible. How was the weekend shift? Exhausting. We had 2 big groups check in, back-to-back events. I barely sat down. She was lying to my face, and I knew it. But I didn't want to know what she was lying about. Tuesday, I drove past the hotel at 8 p.m. Her car wasn't there, but she'd texted me at 7 saying she was swamped with work, would be late. That night I couldn't sleep. Lay there next to her, listening to her breathe, trying to figure out what was happening. Was she cheating? Seeing someone else? But why? What could she possibly gain? The money. Obviously, the money. But she already had access to my accounts. We were married. What more was there? I didn't know, but I was terrified to find out. I did something I'm not proud of. I'd seen her type her phone password once, maybe a month earlier. Just a glimpse over her shoulder while we were watching TV. 4 digits. I tried Anna's birthday first. 0-3-1-8. March 18th, wrong. I tried Anna's birth year. 2018. Wrong. I tried Diane's birthday, my birthday, our wedding date. All wrong. Then feeling sick, I tried the most generic password possible. 1234. It unlocked. Not Anna's birthday, not mine, not ours. Just 1234. Like security from me didn't even matter. Like I was so harmless, so trusting, so completely tamed that she didn't need a real password. That should have told me everything right there. The home screen looked normal. Facebook, Instagram, messaging apps. But there was a folder I'd never noticed before labelled Work Docs. I opened it. Inside was a messaging app I didn't recognise. Some encrypted chat program. Signal maybe, or one of those privacy-focused ones. I opened it, and my entire world collapsed. Alt. I have to stop typing for a minute. Just threw up in the bathroom. The reality keeps hitting me in waves. I'm looking at the messages again on her phone. I still have it. She hasn't asked for it back. Messages to someone saved as M. Hundreds of them going back over a year. M. Miss you. When are you coming home? Diane. Soon. Maybe this weekend. I'm working extra to send more money. M. The kids keep asking when Mama's coming back. The kids. Plural. I scrolled back, hands shaking. Photos. Dozens of photos of Diane with a man I'd never seen. Filipino, maybe late 30s, wearing casual clothes, and 2 other children besides Anna. A boy, maybe 7 or 8. A girl, maybe 4. Birthday parties, Christmas photos, casual home scenes. All time-stamped from months and years before I'd ever met Diane. More messages. Manuel. The electric bill is 4,500 pesos this month. Can you send extra? Diane. I'll send 10,000 pesos tomorrow. Jason just gave me money for Anna's school fees. Manuel. You're amazing. I don't know how we'd survive without you. Diane. I'm doing this for our family, for our future. Manuel. I know it's hard living with him, but it's working. We're actually saving money. Diane. It's just business. He gets a pretty girlfriend. Our kids get a future. It's fair. Foreigners come here and use us. We're just using them back. I kept scrolling, vision blurring, trying to piece it together. Manuel was her husband, not ex-husband, current husband. They'd been married for 9 years since Diane was 20. The 2 kids in the photos were theirs. Miguel, 8 years old, and Sophia, 4, plus Anna, 5. 3 kids total, not 1. They lived in Tarlac, in a specific house that looked familiar. I scrolled to find a photo with the exterior visible. It was the house I'd bought. The 2,800,000 peso house that was supposed to be ours. More messages. Diane. The house is finished. Manuel, you should see it. It's beautiful. 3 bedrooms, real tile, nice neighborhood. Manuel. I can't believe we actually own a house. A real house, not renting. Diane. Jason made it possible. He doesn't even ask questions anymore, just sends money whenever I say we need it. Manuel. How much longer can you keep this up? Diane. As long as possible. I'm draining the joint account slowly. He never checks the balance. Too trusting. Manuel. What if he finds out? Diane. He won't. He wants this too much. He loves being the hero, being needed. As long as I let him feel important, he won't look too close. It's perfect. There it was, in writing. Proof that every single moment, every conversation, every I love you was calculated manipulation. I scrolled through more messages, learning the full scope of the con. Tito Ben and Tita Rosa weren't her parents. They were her actual Tita and Tito, her aunt and uncle. They'd agreed to play the role for 5,000 pesos monthly. Easy money for occasional visits and some acting. The emergencies, some were real, most were exaggerated or completely fabricated. Her aunt did need gallbladder surgery, but it cost 45,000 pesos, not 85,000 pesos. They pocketed 25,000 pesos. The motorcycle was never stolen. They bought Manuel a newer bike for his delivery work. The dental work was real, but for Manuel, not Tito Ben, 28,000 pesos for a root canal and crown. Anna's school fees were real, but I was paying double. Once for the actual fees, once in cash that went straight to their savings. Every request, every tearful conversation, every grateful hug. All of it was scripted. One message made me physically sick. Manuel. I still can't believe he bought us a house. Diane. I told you it would work. These foreigners are so lonely, so desperate to feel needed. Give them a pretty face and a sob story. They'll give you everything. Manuel. What about the sex? Is it hard? Diane. It's fine. I just close my eyes and think about our real life. About our kids. About the house. It makes it easier. He's not bad, just boring. Predictable. He thinks missionary position with the lights off is exciting. They were laughing at me. Literally laughing. While I read bedtime stories to Anna. While I sent money for emergencies. While I married her. When Diane came out of the shower that night, I was sitting on the bed with her phone in my hand. Messages open on the screen. She froze in the doorway, towel wrapped around her. For a few seconds, neither of us said anything. Then, who's Manuel? My voice didn't sound like mine. It sounded hollow, dead. Her face went pale, but she recovered quickly. Walked over and sat down on the edge of the bed, still in her towel. He's my husband. Hearing her say it out loud made it real in a way that destroyed something inside me. I stood up. My vision was tunneling, everything except her face going dark. My hands were shaking. I wanted to put my fist through the wall, wanted to grab her, shake her until her teeth rattled. But I just stood there, vibrating with rage I couldn't release. How long? The words came out strangled. We've been married 9 years. And the kids in these photos, Miguel and Sofia, are children, mine and Manuel's. So Anna is his daughter too, obviously. I laughed, couldn't help it, this awful bitter sound that didn't seem human. Obviously, how stupid of me not to realize. Jason, don't! I was yelling now, couldn't stop myself. Don't say my name, don't talk to me like we're having a normal conversation. Anna was at her grandparents' house for the night. Thank God, I didn't want her to hear this. You need to calm down. Calm down? You destroyed my life. You stole everything from me. I grabbed a chair, threw it against the wall. It shattered. The sound felt good. I wanted to break more things, break everything. Diane just watched me, infuriatingly calm, like she'd prepared for this moment, like she'd rehearsed it. When I finally stopped breathing hard, she spoke. You were survival. Her voice was steady, matter of fact. Manuel lost his job 4 years ago. Found work eventually, but it pays maybe 18,000 pesos monthly. We have 3 kids, Jason. Rent, food, school fees, bills. We couldn't make it. So you decided to destroy someone's life. I decided to save my family. Then I met you at that party. That party wasn't random, was it? No. Kevin's friend is my cousin, my actual cousin. I asked her to invite me when I heard there'd be single expats. She told me about you. The divorced American living alone, looking for meaning. You were perfect. Perfect mark. How many people knew? My voice cracked. How many people were in on this? My aunt and uncle. My cousin. Manuel, obviously, that's it. That's it. That's 4 people. 4 people knew I was being played and nobody thought to tell me. Why would they? We needed the money. You had it. It's that simple. Tito Ben and Tita Rosa. My aunt and uncle, yes. They get 5,000 pesos monthly. Easy money for playing a role a few times. The emergencies? Were any of them real? She thought about it. Some. My aunt did need gallbladder surgery, but it cost 45,000 pesos, not 85,000 pesos. The motorcycle wasn't stolen. We bought Manuel a better one. The dental work was real, but for Manuel. Anna's school fees are real, but you were paying double. Once for actual fees, once in cash that went to savings. Every word was a knife. She was so calm, so matter-of-fact about destroying me. The house, I could barely get the words out. The 2,800,000 peso house. Where is it? Manuel and the kids live there. It's in Tarlac. Nice neighborhood, good schools nearby, the kids love it. I bought your husband a house. I said it out loud and it sounded insane. I bought another man a house for his family. You bought us a house for our family. I'm not your family, I was screaming again. They are. Those kids are. What am I? What was I to you? She looked at me with something that might have been pity. You were a way out, a way to give my kids a better life. By lying to me? By pretending to love me? I did care about you. Nonsense. I did. In my own way. You're a good person, Jason. You made this easy. Made what easy? Taking your money. You wanted so badly to be needed, to be the hero. I just let you be that. I sank down onto the bed, all the fight draining out. Show me the accounts. I want to see how much you took. She pulled out her phone, her real phone, not the one with the secret messages, opened a notes app, showed me a detailed spreadsheet. She'd been tracking everything, every peso. Total from you over 18 months, 5,200,000 pesos, about $93,000. The room spun. My God. You still have money left. You're not broke. She still has the gut to talk like that. The joint account has about 800,000 pesos. Your personal account has maybe 600,000 pesos, around 1,400,000 pesos total. I did the math in my head, numb. 1,400,000 pesos, about $25,000 from $170,000. Plus you spent on yourself, she continued like she was giving a financial report, your living expenses, visa runs, flights home once, but yes, roughly $93,000 came to us. Us. You keep saying us. Like you're a team. We are a team. Manuel's my husband. We're partners. This was his idea, actually. The whole thing. That made it so much worse. This wasn't just Diane being desperate. Manuel had strategized this, calculated it, sent his wife to get down with a stranger for money. He's okay with you sleeping with another man? It's work. That's how we see it, like having a job you don't love but need. She paused. And honestly, he's grateful. You gave our family a future. We own a house now. A real house with 3 bedrooms, a nice yard, in a safe neighborhood. Our kids go to private school. We have savings. You changed our lives. By destroying mine. Your life isn't destroyed, she said it so casually, like we were discussing the weather. You have $25,000. You can go home, get another job, start over. You're American, you have options, you'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm 43 years old with no career, no savings, no nothing. You'll figure it out. Americans always do. I stared at her. This woman I'd loved, married, built a life with, and she was looking at me like I was a problem that had been solved, a resource that had been depleted. What about Anna? My voice broke. Does she even know? That this whole thing was fake? She knows Manuel is her papa. She's known the whole time. She's 5, Jason. She'll forget about you in 6 months. That broke something fundamental inside me. Anna, who I had read bedtime stories to, who called me Kuya Jason, who I taught to ride a bike, bought toys for, thought of as my daughter. She knew, the whole time she knew I was temporary, that I didn't matter. Get out. The words came out flat, dead. Jason? Get out of my house, now, tonight. It's 11 p.m. I don't care. I was on my feet again, shaking. Get your stuff and leave. Go back to Manuel. Go back to your real family. For the first time she looked uncertain, maybe even scared. I'll pack, she said quietly. She moved quickly, threw clothes into bags, grabbed toiletries from the bathroom, collected Anna's things. I watched her from the doorway, feeling nothing and everything at once. Within an hour, she was done. 3 bags by the door. Her whole life here, 18 months fit into 3 bags. She picked them up, looked at me one last time. I'm sorry it had to end like this. You're not sorry. You got what you wanted. I am sorry. For what it's worth, you're a good person. You deserved better. Then why? Because my kids deserved better too, and I chose them. She walked out. The door clicked shut behind her. The moment she was gone, I completely lost it. I picked up what was left of the broken chair and threw it again, punched the wall until my knuckles split and bled, screamed until my throat was raw and I tasted copper, cried like a child, collapsed on the floor, unable to breathe. The landlord's going to have questions about the holes in the walls, the broken furniture, the damage deposit I'll never get back. Add it to the list of things I've lost. I don't know how long I was on the floor. Hours, maybe. When the sun started coming up, I finally dragged myself up, threw some things in a bag, and got out of there. Checked into this hotel. Haven't left the room in 3 days except to buy more Tandway from the 7-Eleven. That was 3 days ago. I haven't slept more than an hour at a time. Every time I close my eyes, I see them, her smiling with Manuel. The kids playing in my yard, that damn house. Yesterday I talked to a lawyer. Found one through a Google search, went to his office looking like death. I explained everything. Showed him the messages I'd screenshotted before Diane got her phone back. Showed him the bank transfers, the house documents, everything. He listened, taking notes. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair. Do you have proof she coerced you? She lied to me about everything. Yes, but did she force you to send money? Hold a gun to your head? No, but... Did you willingly transfer funds to her account? Yes, but I didn't know. Did you willingly purchase property in her name? We were getting married. He held up his hand. Sir, I understand this is painful, but legally you gave gifts to your wife. The court will see a generous husband supporting his wife's family. That's not fraud in the Philippines. She had a whole other family. Another husband. Was your marriage legally registered? Yes. And the first marriage, was it legally registered or just church ceremony? I didn't know. I hadn't thought to ask. If it wasn't legally registered, he continued, then your marriage is valid, and hers to Manuel isn't. Meaning you were her legal husband, and she had every right to property you gave her. That can't be right. This is Philippines, sir. Property laws favour locals, especially in domestic situations. You're a foreigner who voluntarily gave money and property to your Filipino wife. No court will help you get it back. So, that's it? I just lose everything? He looked at me with something like sympathy. I'm sorry. The foreigner rarely wins these cases. My advice? Cut your losses and move on. I stood up. Walked out without paying for the consultation. He called after me about his fee, but I kept walking. Back at the hotel, I put my fist through the door. The hotel manager is going to charge me for it. I don't care. Add it to the pile of money I've already lost. My hand is swelling now. Might be broken. Hurts to type, but I don't want to stop. I keep opening Instagram. It's self-destructive and I know it, but I can't help myself. Diane hasn't blocked me. Why would she? I'm not a threat. I'm a finished job. A depleted resource. Her most recent story posted yesterday. A photo of her, Manuel, and all 3 kids standing in front of a house. MY house. The one I paid 2,800,000 pesos for. They're all smiling. Anna's holding a new stuffed unicorn, probably bought with my money. Miguel and Sophia are grinning. Manuel has his arm around Diane's waist. She's leaning into him. They look happy, genuinely happy. The caption, "Home is where the heart is." Family each shows blessed. My money bought that happiness. My stupidity, my need to be needed, my savior complex, all of it funded their dream life, while mine evaporated. I've looked at that photo maybe 50 times today. Each time it hurts more, but I can't stop. Like picking at a wound, making it worse. Just check my bank accounts again. That transaction I missed before, from 3 days before I discovered everything. Transfer from the joint account, 50,000 pesos. Memo. Investment opportunity. She was draining it until the very last second. Even when she knew I might find out, she was still taking money, squeezing out every last drop. I'm staring at my bank statement right now. 1,400,000 pesos. The number looks wrong, fake, like it's happening to someone else, but it's real. That's all I have left. $25,000. I can't breathe when I see that number. When I think about what it means, what I've lost. 18 months ago I had $170,000 in a plan. Now I have $25,000 and nothing. Kevin came by the hotel yesterday, brought food I didn't eat, sat with me for a few hours while I alternated between rage and silence. "I'm sorry, man," he said. "I tried to warn you." "I know." "What are you gonna do?" "I don't know. You've got, 3 years of money if you're careful? Maybe 4 if you're really tight." "I told you," Kevin said quietly. "Night King never ends well." "Don't." My voice came out harsh. "Just don't. I'm not trying to rub it in. I'm just saying, I've seen this happen to a lot of guys here. The desperate, the lonely, the ones looking for meaning. They're easy targets. So I'm a cliche. That makes it better? No, it makes it common, which means you're not alone. But I am alone, that's the whole point. I came here alone, I got played alone, and now I'm sitting in this hotel room alone with $25,000 and nowhere to go. You could go home, Kevin offered, start over. And say what? Hey family, remember those savings I had? I gave them to a woman who had a secret husband and family. I bought a house for another man's children. They don't need to know the details. They'll ask. Of course they'll ask, and I'll have to either lie or admit how stupid I was. He didn't have an answer for that. After he left, I looked up flights to Seattle. Round trip is about $900. One way is $650. I could go home, sleep on my brother's couch, get a job somewhere. Probably not operations management anymore. Or I could stay here. Move somewhere cheaper. Bacolod, Dumaguete, some provincial city where $25,000 stretches further. Live quietly, try to make it last. Both options sound like giving up, like admitting defeat. I don't know which is worse. I saw another Instagram story this morning, just posted an hour ago. A photo of the house, just the exterior shot, bright morning sun. The yard looks nice. Someone's been maintaining it. There's a swing set now, the one Diane mentioned wanting for Anna. The caption is one word. Grateful. The house cost me $50,000. That family cost me $93,000 total, and they're grateful. I keep thinking about driving to Tarlac. I know where the house is. I have the address from the property documents. I could show up, confront Manuel, demand my money back, tell him what I think of him and his whole plan. But what would that accomplish? The money's spent. The house is legally hers, theirs. I can't get it back. All I'd do is make a scene, maybe get arrested, definitely make things worse. So I sit here instead. Drinking Tanduay that doesn't help. Staring at my phone. Replaying every conversation, every moment, looking for the signs I missed. They were all there. The family in Tarlac that I only visited twice. The house I never moved into. Her constant overtime that didn't show up in her pay. The password that was just 1234. How fast she pushed for marriage and property in her name. The way she managed all the finances with complete access. But I didn't want to see it. I wanted to believe, wanted to be the hero, wanted to feel needed. That need cost me everything. The worst part, and I keep coming back to this, is Anna. I loved that kid, really loved her. Read her bedtime stories every night, taught her to ride a bike, bought her toys and books and took her to Jollibee whenever she wanted. I thought I was becoming her father figure. Thought I was giving her the stable male presence she needed. But she knew. The whole time she knew I was temporary. Just some guy her mum was using for money. Probably didn't understand the details, but she knew I wasn't real. Did she like me at all? Or was she just playing her part the way Diane was? A 5-year-old actress in a family con? I'll never know. And that might hurt more than anything else. She's going to forget me. Diane was right about that. In 6 months, a year, I'll just be some vague memory. That American guy who lived with us for a while. Nothing more. I wanted to matter to someone. Wanted to be important. Instead, I was just a transaction, a means to an end. It's past 3 a.m. now. I've been typing this for hours. My hands are shaking less, but my chest still hurts, like something's physically broken inside me. I'm not writing this as a warning. To hell with warnings. Warnings don't work. Everyone thinks they're smarter than the last guy. Everyone thinks they won't fall for it. I thought that too. I'm writing this because if I don't get it out, I'm going to drive to Tarlac and do something I'll regret. Because it's the middle of the night and I'm alone and I need to tell someone what happened before I lose my mind completely. People always say, don't be that guy, don't give money, don't fall for the scam, don't be stupid. But I wasn't trying to be stupid. I thought I was being smart, and I avoided bar girls. Found a normal woman with a real job and a kid. Someone who seemed genuine. Turns out that made me an easier mark. Because I trusted her. Here's what I learned. The woman with a job can still be running a long con. The single mum can have a whole husband and 2 other kids you never knew about. The sweet provincial family can be paid actors in a carefully constructed lie. Legal marriage doesn't protect you when you willingly sign everything over. And your need to be needed can blind you to every red flag. When someone makes you feel like a hero, ask yourself why they need one. I didn't ask. I just enjoyed the feeling. That choice cost me $145,000 in 18 months, and whatever remained of my ability to trust another human being. I still check her Instagram compulsively, multiple times an hour, seeing them happy in my house, using my money, living the life I paid for. I should block her, delete the app, move on. But I can't. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The Instagram photos are the only proof I have that this actually happened. That she was real. That I didn't hallucinate the entire thing. I don't know what happens tomorrow, what happens next week, next month, next year. I have $25,000 and a life in complete ruins. Part of me wants to go home, but I'm too ashamed to face the questions. Too embarrassed to admit what happened. Where'd your savings go, Jason? Oh, I bought a house for my wife's husband. Funded her real family while playing house with them. Gave them $93,000 over 18 months because I'm an idiot who needed to feel important. Part of me wants to find her and no. I can't let myself think like that. That's how foreigners end up in Filipino prisons. Or worse, so I sit here instead, in this hotel room, drinking, typing, trying to make sense of something that will never make sense. I came here to escape. To find meaning, to build something real. Instead, I funded someone else's dream while mine turned to ash. The worst part? I don't even fully hate Diane. I understand it in some twisted way. She had 3 kids, a struggling husband, no options. I showed up with American money and a rescue fantasy. Of course she took advantage. Survival doesn't leave room for morality. Desperation makes people do things they wouldn't otherwise do. But understanding doesn't make it hurt less. Doesn't give me my money back. Doesn't fix what's broken inside me. I'm not the same person who landed at Manila 18 months ago. That guy was optimistic, hopeful, looking for adventure. This guy is just empty, hollowed out. A cautionary tale that nobody will believe because it sounds too stupid to be true. No one falls for that, they'll say. No one is that dumb. But I was. I did. And now I'm here. In a hotel in Clark with $25,000, no plan, and a story I can barely stand to tell. I'm not going to give you advice. I'm not qualified. I'm the guy who lost everything to the most obvious scam imaginable. But if you're reading this and you're thinking about doing what I did, leaving everything, chasing a dream in Southeast Asia, finding love with a local, just know that your need to be needed can cost you everything. Mine did. I wanted to matter, to be important, to rescue someone. Instead, I became the punchline. The stupid foreigner, the walking ATM who thought love and desperation couldn't coexist. They can. They do. And when they meet your bank account, you lose. Don't be me. Too late. I already am. Jason. Yeah, my real name along with hers too. What's she gonna do? Find me? She already took everything.